Good day, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about the cause and effects of this conflict that is taking place and the repercussions, more so, that could come from this conflict, this civil war that is taking place inside of Ethiopia. And more specifically, is there a chance that we could see the current and existing borders of the regions that identify themselves as these separate regional entities, such as Tigray, the Amhara region, and will these borders start to change? And as with any conflict, it is inherently possible that territory that has been conquered by one group could in fact be annexed by that group. Now, if we look at the current situation that is taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia, we can see that obviously right now the status quo is that the Eritrean military, in supporting the Amhara region, has taken control of western Tigray. And that is areas west of the Tigray River, and you can see that there on my map. Basically, everything west of this river could fall under the control, currently under the control of the Eritrean Armed Forces and the Amhara regional paramilitaries and militias. Now, with that being said, we also know that there is some fairly significant amount of land that is currently under the control of the Tigrayan Defense Forces. And we're looking at areas starting with cities such as Kobo and running far south down towards Weldia, Mersa, and approaching areas near Dese. And we're also seeing areas west of Weldia as well, such as Gashina, Lalibela, and some other areas. And obviously we're also seeing, as I had mentioned in a previous video, areas south of Adi Arke to include, and again we're seeing a back and forth kind of engagements around Zarima and Debark and other areas in this vicinity as well. But I guess the question is at some point, could we see the Tigrayan Defense Forces, the Tigray region, start to annex territories? Could we see the official annexation of possibly Kobo, possibly the areas around Weldia, and further north and areas north and east of Lalibela, or possibly even Lalibela itself? Could we see the annexation because of the course of this conflict? And I would say it is not outside of the realm of possibilities to see these borders start to change. And again, we're looking at, I don't want to say reparations or any sorts of regional punishments taking place, but at the same time, as they say in reference to the law, ownership is 9/10 of the law. And if in fact the Tigrayan Defense Forces occupy these areas, then the question is because of issues that took place inside of the Tigray region, because of the economic loss, because of the possible threat to the Tigray region by the Ethiopian military, could we see permanent buffer zones starting to take place in which we start to see the permanent annexation of these areas by the TDF? I would say, especially in regards to areas near Weldia and areas north of there. Again, we're looking at, if we look at distances from the Tigray border to Weldia, about 57 kilometers, or in miles, you're looking at about 35 miles. So again, a reasonable stretch of area that creates a buffer zone to prevent any sort of activity into the Tigray region. Now, has this been announced And will this be announced? It's hard to say. But again, as with any conflict in any part of the world, usually in these types of conflict, territory does change hands. And with that being said, I would anticipate that territory could in fact change hands. And we could see this strategic depth be created in the form of annexation. Have a great day, everybody.